We live in interesting times. Today's stories. The United Nations security team visits Yemen's key port of Hodeidah. Siberia's outdoor market flourishes in record low temperatures. Sea lions, a plague for Chilean fishermen. Peruvian scallops keep local economies afloat. Arrests fuel anxieties among China-Canadian expats. Vancouver experiences torrential downpour. Plus, a peek at the TV hit series Riverdale's set location. This is Eagle News Canada, bringing you stories from around the globe. I am Arnie Aquino. A security team from the United Nations office in Yemen visits the strategic Red Sea port of Hodeidah to discuss the security situation there before the arrival of UN observers. The UN Security Council on Friday unanimously approved a resolution that authorizes the deployment of observers to war-torn Yemen to oversee a fragile truce in the strategic Red Sea port of Hodeidah. The draft, which was submitted by Britain, had been the subject of tough negotiations among the 15 Council members and was amended several times before the vote. It also endorses the results of UN-brokered peace negotiations in Sweden last week. Yemen's warring parties agreed to a ceasefire that took effect Tuesday and the withdrawal of fighters in Hodeidah, a key gateway for aid and food imports. The city is a vital lifeline for millions at risk of starvation, and the ceasefire between Saudi-backed government forces and Houthi Shiite rebels is seen as the best chance yet of ending 4 years of devastating conflict. The agreement also included a planned prisoner swap involving some 15,000 detainees. The UN Security Council resolution insists on the full respect by all parties of the ceasefire agreed for Hodeidah. It authorizes the United Nations to establish and deploy for an initial period of 30 days from the adoption of this resolution an advanced team to begin monitoring the ceasefire under the leadership of retired Dutch General Patrick Kammert. According to the UN, Kammert, who served multiple times as a UN peacekeeper, was expected to arrive in the Jordanian capital Amman on Friday before heading to the rebel-held capital Sana'a and Hodeidah. The resolution also authorizes UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres to submit proposals as soon as possible before December 31, 2018, on how the United Nations will fully support the Stockholm Agreement as requested by the parties. French Ambassador François Delattre said the unanimous vote sent a strong signal of the Council's unity and engagement on Yemen and that it had put its weight behind the UN-brokered talks. Diplomats said the UN observer mission could consist of 30 to 40 people tasked with ensuring the withdrawal of the warring parties from Hodeidah and the safe passage of humanitarian aid. The UN said the first members of the mission were already en route to the region. The observers will head up monitoring teams made up of government and rebel representatives under the auspices of a redeployment coordination committee headed by Kammert. A week ago, following the talks in Sweden, UN envoy Martin Griffiths asked the Security Council for the quick deployment of observers. But the negotiations were particularly tough, with Russia at one point threatening to use its veto if a mention of Iran supporting Houthi rebel attacks inserted by the United States was not removed. In a compromise, the phrase further condemning the supply from Iran and other actors of the Houthis became the supply from whatever source. But in the end, the entire paragraph was scrapped from the final version. The war in Yemen between the rebels and troops loyal to President Abdrabbo Mansour Hadi escalated in 2015 when he fled into Saudi exile and the Saudi-led military coalition intervened. Since then, the conflict has killed some 10,000 people, according to the World Health Organization, although human rights groups say the real death toll could be 5 times as high. On December 8, the UN said that as many as 20 million people in Yemen were food insecure, calling the situation the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Yakutia in northeastern Siberia is Russia's largest region and experiences the planet's coldest temperatures. But for the inhabitants of this remote place, the cold isn't an obstacle. An outdoor market opens its doors to public even when the temperature hits record lows.
Уже 10-й или 11-й год здесь работаю. Ну, горячий кофе, горячий чай и горячий обед, главное. Вот. Так и терпим, как бы сказать. Вот 35 градусов – это ничего для нас. Как говорится, я в Якутии рос, в Якутии родился, а 50-55 – это уже сложновато будет.
Ну вот, валенки, пожалуйста, костюмы зимние. Вот так вот и стоим по 6 часов, по 7.
Я продаю мясо местное, вот продукты. Говядина, жеребятина, свинину. Еще рыба есть там, подлетки. Как вы?
In Chile, the increasing number of sea lions on the coast since the country has forbidden their hunt a few decades ago has become a problem for the fishermen who complain that the animals follow their boats and steal their fish. Off the coast of Chile, fishermen face competition from a cunning carnivorous hunter that has decimated their industry due to its voracious appetite. For Chile's fishermen, sea lions are a plague.
El lobo ya no caza. El lobo no caza. El lobo siente el ruido de una embarcación y sabe que allá está la comida. Llega allá el lobo. Y ahí se zambulle.
Part of the wider sea family that was once hunted mercilessly all over the world, leaving some populations close to extinction, the South American sea lion in Chile has been protected for the last 28 years.
Es un enemigo, en este instante es un enemigo. Y como tal, bueno, tratamos de hacer algo, meterle huya, pero ya es imposible, es imposible.
Hunting them for their richly prized fur is illegal. Liberated from their most dangerous predator, they are still prey for sharks and orcas. The sea mammal's population has been on the rise, helped in no small part by the abundant fodder they manage to steal from fishermen. They have learned to distinguish the sound of the fishing boat's motors, allowing them to follow the vessels as they head out to sea. With their sharp teeth and the enormous power in bodies that can weigh around 650 pounds, they manage to destroy the fishing nets and gobble up the treats inside. And they have some appetite, consuming 90 pounds of fish each day.
Al no tener competidores, al no tener suficientes predadores, el número se ha estirado al máximo, llegando a competir con este otro predador que somos nosotros y provocando las consecuencias que tenemos en este momento.
Rojas says more than 80% of the boats working in this area around the port of Valparaiso return from a day's work empty with their nets shredded. There, sea lions hang around on the beach or beneath the wharf, waiting for the scraps and on trails thrown back into the water by fishermen. Around 40% of the world's sea lion population, some 200,000 animals, live off the coast of Chile and pose a serious threat to the fishing industry. Local fishermen want to be able to cull their numbers.
La única solución viable para los pescadores es eliminar los lobos, y eso no va a ocurrir, y lo que tenemos que aprender es a cómo se produce una interacción sana entre estos habitantes del mar, las otras especies animales que hay en Chile y también los pescadores. Tenemos que aprender a convivir con los lobos y esos son los esfuerzos a los que nosotros nos estamos dirigiendo.
Up next, Peruvian scallops keep local economies afloat. Arrest fuel anxieties among China-Canadian expats. Torrential downpour in Vancouver. These and more when Eagle News Canada returns. We will be right back.
I am here at Gastown, which is a National Historic Site in Vancouver, British Columbia. Located in Vancouver's oldest neighborhood is the steam-powered clock, which is Gastown's most famous landmark. Make sure to tune in to Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I am Lou Aquino, EBC correspondent, and I am one with 25.
Eagle News Teams are fair.
Sa impeachment complaint laban kay Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno, ang ilang maestra...
Ang rekomendasyon na makasuhan ang mga sangkot kasama na ang mga opisyal ng customs.
Hardworking.
Papaunlad ng isang bata na magiging isang future youth leaders.
Dedicated.
Sa nasawi ay dito natagpuan yung bangkay.
Ito yung kanilang paraan ng pag-aalaga ng mga may sakit na leprosy noong unang panahon.
Committed to public service.
Ang chairmanship ng ASEAN sa bansang Singapore.
Marami yung mga biktima ng mga nawawala.
Mamambahan ng Bureau of Customs na nasa merkado na yung mga pinaging produkto.
Sa kabila ng mga kilos protesta na nanatiling
payapa. Dahil sa mabilis na pagresponde ng mga pamatay sunog, ang apoy mabilis na
nagkaroon ng equal opportunity ang ibang mga kababaihan.
Kayahan ng mga kabataan at ipinakita sa pamagitan ng kanilang mga likha.
Nanatiling kulang pa rin ang tubig para sa irigasyon, para sa pagtatanim ng ating mga kababayang magsasaka.
As we live in interesting times.
ASEAN in Focus, Monday to Friday, 2 to 2:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Canada. The bay off of Secura in northern Peru is a paradise for scallops, which are seen as nuggets of gold in the ocean and exported to France, Spain, and the United States, and the industry surrounding the shellfish lies at the heart of the local economy. Peruvian fishermen need only dive down a few meters to find the scallops considered the golden nuggets of the country's seas and cherished in European and North American kitchens. Secura Bay, off northwest Peru's Pacific coast near Ecuador, is a source of 80% of Peru's exports of the seafood to France, Spain, the United States, and Canada.
Bueno, es una bahía privilegiada que tenemos en el Perú, la zona de Sechura, y rica en lo que es toda especie de variedades, lo que es pescado y especialmente la concha de abanico.
To harvest the hermaphrodite clams, divers hanging onto a hose plunge down 3 to 5 meters and gather them in nets that are then hauled up to the surface by 2 fishermen. These treasures have converted Peru into a culinary superpower.
Lo único que hay que saber es que trabajar mejor el mercado, abrir más mercado. Por ejemplo, Europa no es un mercado tan grande como China. Si nosotros abriéramos China o la entidad sanitaria abriera China como mercado, nosotros podríamos tener un potencial mucho más grande.
He added Secura Bay is known as one of the major producers of scallops in the world. The vast bay is divided up into 8 production zones, with 200 fishing associations dedicated to harvesting the Peruvian scallop. Each day, around 200 boats unload 25 metric tons of scallops at the Parachique Fishing Cove, one of 20 production and storage areas for mollusks. They are then loaded into refrigerated trucks and taken to processing plants where they are washed, weighed, packaged, and passed on to export companies that take them to the nearby port of Paita. It takes 9 months of cultivation before the mollusks are ready to be sold for 20 to 38 soles per kilogram. Although now a hugely lucrative industry, it is a relatively new one in Peru, having begun just 15 years ago. According to official statistics, 18,000 tons of scallops were harvested throughout the country from January to September this year. The National Society of Industry says scallop exports earned $56.1 billion between January and November, during which times 4,500 tons of these clams were sent abroad. France alone accounted for 1,200 tons. The arrest of a third Canadian in China has heightened anxiety even in an expatriate community accustomed to some level of fear and uncertainty.
I mean, I've always been worried due to my experience in China. Like, I've seen this bullying behavior before, and I think most of Canadians that are here are living in fear at some level, right? Of fear of losing what they have here, fear of getting arrested, fear of retribution. So it's a constant fear.
The arrest of a third Canadian in China has heightened anxiety even in an expatriate community accustomed to some level of fear and uncertainty. Beijing on Thursday confirmed it arrested Canadian Sarah McIver for working illegally in the country, following the detention of 2 other Canadians on national security grounds. While Canadian authorities said the latest detention appears to be a routine visa case that has nonetheless exacerbated concerns among Canadian expatriates in China, fearful that they too might be detained over a legal technicality. Former Canadian diplomat Michael Kovrig and China-based business consultant Michael Spavor were detained on December 10 and accused of engaging in activities that endanger China's national security. Kovrig is a senior advisor at the International Crisis Group think tank, while Spavor facilitates trips to North Korea, including visits by former NBA star Dennis Rodman. Though no link has officially been made between the 3 detentions, suspicions are mounting that China is holding at least 2 of the Canadian nationals in retaliation of Canada's arrest of Meng Wanzhou, a top executive at Chinese telecom giant Huawei.
And so there's this general unease that we're going to bear the consequences of this bullying from both sides.
Ottawa has repeatedly said Meng's arrest was not political, but rather part of a judicial process in keeping with an extradition treaty with Washington. Meng was released on bail last week in Vancouver pending her U.S. extradition hearing on fraud charges related to sanctions-breaking business dealings with Iran. Ottawa and Washington on Friday stepped up pressure on Beijing and called for the immediate release of Kovrig and Spavor. On Thursday, representatives of 6 Berlin-based institutions, which included the European Council for Foreign Relations and the German Marshall Fund, expressed concern about the spate of Canadians detained. Torrential rain hits Vancouver. Kat Concepcion for the report. Kat?
Dubbed fondly by its locals as Raincouver, the city of Vancouver has been in the past 3 days living up to its nickname. And this city, when it rains, it pours, but not quite like this. In the past few days, the Greater Vancouver area has been experiencing unusually high levels of precipitation, and as a result, many areas are left flooded. Some areas see cars submerged in water because of flooding caused by the torrential rain. Environment Canada has issued a rainfall warning with total rainfall amount of up to 90 millimeters by tomorrow morning. With a rainfall warning in effect, the long days of rain and flooding may be here longer than expected. Kate Concepcion, Eagle News. I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Kat. Coming up, we will take you to the set location of the TV hit series Riverdale. Eagle News Canada will return shortly.
What's up, everybody? Just like snow in Las Vegas being a rare thing, so are opportunities in life. So whenever they come around, seize the moment. Tune into Digital Nest on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. only on Net 25. I'm Ahmed Santos, your EBC correspondent, always 1 with 25. Peace!
Hello Digital Nesters, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to watch our future features.
Simulan na ang araw kasama ang buong barkada ng Pambansang Almusal. Kami na ang bahala sa masarap niyong almusal kung saan matututo tayong magluto ng easy, delicious, and affordable recipes kasama ang ating guest chefs.
Siyempre, I want it medyo healthy pa rin, na wala tayong masyadong fats or skin ng ating chicken.
Of course, meron din tayong family notes where we share tips and ideas on how to make our family happier and stronger.
Dapat marunong tayo mag-open up, di ba? Lalo na sa ating parents.
Tandaan, discipline should focus on teaching, not punishing.
Yes.
Ihahain din namin sa inyo ang maiinit na balita at mahahalagang impormasyon.
Para po yun sa ikabubuti ng ating kapaligiran. Ano yung journey natin towards the 100 years?
Kaya naman, tutok na sa nag-iisang values-oriented morning show.
Pambansang Almusal!
Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 5 hanggang alas 7 ng umaga, dito lang sa Net25.
Ang Pambansang Almusal, Pambansang Almusal.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
This is Eagle News Canada. I am Arnie Aquino. EBC's Archie Rose Natividad gives us a peek at the set location of the TV hit series Riverdale. Archie?
If you grew up knowing about Archie comics, there's no missing the hot new show Riverdale, now on Netflix. Riverdale is a thriller coming-of-age drama that features the lives of Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead in a modern-day twist. And for you Riverdale fans out there, we have a treat for you. Let's go on tour of the fictional town of Riverdale. Come along with me as we check out where Riverdale is filmed here in Vancouver. In this series, the story revolves around the death of the character Jason Blossom in the Sweetwater River. The river doubles as Alouette Lake here at Golden Ears Provincial Park. The gorgeous views of the lake and mountains make it an ideal place for barbecues, picnics, and summer beach time. There's also plenty to do: swimming, windsurfing, water skiing, canoeing, and fishing. This gem you can find just 1 hour outside Vancouver. After solving the day's mystery, Archie and the gang always come back to the comfort of a milkshake at Pop's Chocolate Shop. In real life, Pop's is actually Rocco's Family Diner, a long-standing 50s-themed diner located in the town of Mission. This popular diner has been a 24-hour dining establishment for over 60 years. Due to the Riverdale phenomenon, Rocco's continues to bring in many fans for years to come. And of course, if you want to get the full experience of what it's like to hang out with Archie and his friends, check out the Twilight Drive-In in the city of Langley, just 50 minutes away from Vancouver. The Twilight Drive-In is Jughead's temporary home and the go-to hangout for the Riverdale kids. The Twilight Drive-In is also the only drive-in theater in the Greater Vancouver area. From February to November, you can pull up and enjoy the double feature movies just like Archie, Jughead, Betty, and Veronica. Hope you had fun tagging along with us. Season 3 of Riverdale is coming up soon. Or if you're anything like me, you can catch episodes online. Reporting for Eagle News, I'm Archie Rose Natividad, and I'm one with 25.
Thanks, Archie. That is this week's Eagle News Canada. Join us next week for stories that matter to you. Visit our website at eaglenews.ph and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenews. Thank you for watching. I am Arnie Aquino. I am one with 25.